All right, it's that time. It's Sunday Tarot. So, ask a question, write your first name, ask a question. I'm just pinning a comment, you guys. Ask a question, get an answer. Okay, Tarot with Madame Juju. Now, I know that pinned comments get cut off at a certain point if they're too long, so let's see if this one works. All right. Good morning, good evening.
All right. How are you?
Hi. I
Hi.
love your ponytail.
Thank you.
Looking so cute. I'm going to put my light on so I'm even brighter and I can't see the.
Beautiful. How's your morning going?
Oh my gosh, I woke up really recently. I got a coffee. We assembled this day bed outside, which is amazing. Do you want to see it?
Yes, show me.
So that's where I'm sitting right now. And it's like, I hope you guys like it. It's so fun, I think. So, here's the backyard. And then when you go up the stairs, look at this new glorious thing.
Wow. Love
And
it.
I think this is technically a dust ruffle, but it's like this really pretty, almost like silky kind of feel. And I'm just
Ew.
starting to put pillows and stuff. So now I've got a little nook outside.
I love it. That's very you. It looks like you are going to make yourself very comfortable there. And it looks like I'm going to be there too.
I know
Hey.
I want you to be here too. I don't really think I'm in my color scheme. I think gray is not my color. So I'm gonna put on a white cape.
Always white to me.
But I had like crazy dreams. I had dreams that were like all about like girl drama.
What do you think?
It's like I had this dream basically where I like got invited to this birthday party and it was only like three of us. But it wasn't like weird that it was three of us. It just somehow was. But they were eating the cake and I was like watching them eat this cake. And then they ate the last bite. And I was sitting there being like, I cannot believe they ate the last bite. It's like they didn't even know I was here. Like, and then I really took it into my own to like tell this girl what I thought of her.
Do you feel like there's some kind of connection to your like life these days? Is there?
Yeah, I'm having one friend situation that's a little readjusting, which I think you know about. It's just like a little, just basically like, do you guys have friends who like, sometimes you have a friend who just, you start to notice she consistently makes you feel bad. Like you talk to her and you just don't feel good afterwards. And then like, you sort of analyze the things that she's done and you're like, yeah, it's kind of like shady behavior. And
Yeah.
then when that person reaches out to you in like a more innocent way, you kind of like don't want to engage as much. Yeah. All right. Let's actually, I would love to pull a card on that friendship if we can.
So I see Heather, I see Anna, who's my friend who's staying with me right now, and her lovely dog, and they will come home later from the dog park and probably will say hi too. So, all right, let's draw a card in this situation because it is so what we just want to kind of like understand the general theme around her, like around your friend, maybe like what's going on in her, or like how does she uh, why is it
Well,
so?
I feel myself closing down like like a clam right now because I feel like I've already said too much. Like I feel empathetic of her if she were to listen to this because it's like, ugh. I mean, the truth is just there are some unhealthy patterns. Like it's in the hall already. There are some, yeah, there's some unhealthy patterns from like family that I've recognized. So I feel like since I'm tearing those down right now, I'm a little more sensitive to like unhealthy patterns within old friendships. Um, yeah, let's call it, you know what, let's pull in a card for like our female friendships and how to just like readjust for all of us who are on right now. Like it's just going to be a card that kind of works like a little bit like a adaptogen where it's like wherever you are it's going to like level you a little bit and tap you towards the right direction. So let's pull a card for female friendships.
I like that. Female friendships are also quite complex, but also beautiful, I think.
They are complex because I love this person. You know, that's why I feel bad saying it. And it's like,
She's part of your family and she's part of your, she's part of who you are.
yeah.
It's funny because something just fell out of the deck. I didn't even draw a card. It's just legitimately like a card that fell out, and it's the Seven of Swords.
Okay, that looks appropriate.
It looks appropriate. Look at this guy who's like carrying a heavy swords, right? It looks like they're quite heavy, like a burden almost. But it doesn't seem like, he can still carry them.
That's the thing, like that, what that card makes me feel is it used to be like I used to put, like, okay, if she has done something kind of mean to me recently, it's like I just kind of took the pain onto myself and I was just kind of like, okay, I can have one more pain. Like, I have the skills to deal with this. Whereas in the past, I would have been like, you're so bad, you put this pain on me. So I think what I'm seeing is like the pains of friendship, we're more holding them ourselves these days, as opposed to like asking the friends to like heal us when they do wrong.
Okay, so
Close
let's
the
see.
door. Interesting.
Free yourself from the relationship, close the door. Okay, yeah, interesting. I think that not, I mean, I think some relationships can be fixed, but here's some relationships maybe
Hey, Kaylee.
need to rest a little bit, and then sort of like after
Yeah.
some off from each other, they can revive. So okay,
Kaylee, I'm just telling my young cousin who just joined. Kaylee, I'm so excited to interview you and I'm so happy you're here. This is my friend Julana who's in Berlin and we're doing group tarot. So you can ask a question and we'll answer it. Just give us first name and a question. And right now we're pulling a card about female friendships. So this just like start to think about your female friendships, your girl group.
yeah, female friendships, essentially the ones that are that have gotten a little complex and maybe like there's some transitional phase going on.
Yeah,
So
good point.
thing here is you cannot do everything at once. You must prioritize what's important to you, even if it means letting others down. You may need to put yourself first to get what you want.
Hmm.
That's
It seems what people are emphasizing on here. I mean, what I'm really proud about is that like what I didn't do in my dream life last night is I like put all the rage on them and it like started to burn bridges and whatever. Like, I think if something upsets you these days, I can kind of absorb it and then take the stance to not be as close moving forward until there's like enough time to heal.
Yes, I agree. And so like put yourself first, prioritize you. You don't have to constantly prioritize the other person and like, have their feelings and whatever in mind. You just consider your own feelings and how you feel and yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes and I think we've all been there a distance from our close friends and those relationships often come back stronger than before after some time off.
Yeah.
Do we have
I mean, we've
any
already had a few cycles with it all. It's just, it's also, I mean, you guys ask questions. We got a question from your mom. Let's see what it is.
okay. My mom, what is she saying? She's saying something Russian. Анжела спрашивает, когда ее дочь найдет своего суженого. Можешь по-немецки ей ответить? Okay, so just to give like a little bit of a background, my
Please.
mom and my dad are at their friend's house right now,
Okay.
and her friend is asking when her daughter will find the right person for her.
Okay. So she's probably with this friend right now. And so this mom who's out there in Germany, is that where they are?
They're in Germany, exactly.
Yeah. So
They're
this woman in Germany is thinking about her daughter and wondering when she's going to find the right person.
Yes, essentially. So we're just
Okay.
gonna when her daughter will find the right person.
Okay. So let her know that we're taking her reading right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it I'm gonna do it in Russian or in German or whatever. Мы сейчас смотрим и находим карту. All right, we got some mixed languages here. All right, we're like asking about when her daughter finds the right guy, the right person for her. It's something that especially Russian mothers are very concerned with.
Right, right.
Um, so I got the Knight of Swords, which is very beautiful. Knight,
Aw.
the knight in shining armor. Is he coming on the white horse?
Knight of Swords. Interesting. Okay.
So The Suit of Swords, as we've learned, stands for emotions and the things that you're going through. Swords, okay, 2E.
Swords
Do
is
we
like creativity too, creativity and passion, right?
have true passion? All right. You're driven, ambitious, and willing to dive in headfirst. You're quick to take action, but sometimes it is impulsive or forced. You're well educated and a confident communicator.
So this is either about the mother, you know, it's telling the mother like you're saying your opinion too quickly, like let her be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's what it's about rather than the daughter?
I think maybe a little bit. Like it's so you're driven, willing to dive. Yeah, I think like a lot of the stuff is maybe about the mother who's like pushy and like wants her to act too quickly, but that's maybe a little impulsive and she needs to take a step back.
Okay, so explain that to her.
Ich werde das mal auf Deutsch sagen. Und zwar eigentlich, was es aussagt, ist, dass vielleicht du als Mutter ein bisschen zu aggressiv oder viel zu impulsiv bist und viel zu viel Druck machst. Ähm, das hindert zum Beispiel deine Tochter daran, eine gute und eine wirklich gute informierte Entscheidung zu treffen. Das heißt, an deiner Stelle würde ich ein bisschen zurücktreten und sie machen lassen. All right.
Okay. All right. So yes, we love that. And tell her I love her.
To
To your mom.
Marguerite Imbert,
Yeah. Okay. So Erin asked, we have a bunch of we have questions coming in. We have a question from Erin. She goes, so let me give you background on Erin. She's come to Tarot many times. We love her. She's actually, you know how I put out a call for like paintings? I wanted people to give me paintings that had pinky swear so I could frame them on my wall. She did one and she sent it to me this morning and it like was the best thing to wake up to. She goes, I need a new creative outlet. It's been so hard to keep up with everything virtually during quarantine. What do the cards say for me to help balance stress in a more creative way? So Erin is a badass social worker. She's hardcore dealing with the situation that's happening with COVID in San Francisco. She's worked to the bone. So it's amazing she's even asking about creativity. But it makes sense because she wants a creative, relaxing outlet. So she wants some guidance on a creative way to relax.
All right. Let's see. Creative way to relax. I think a creative way to relax is awesome. And I have myself found a creative way to relax in the midst of the most stressful job of my life, where I decided to go back to my passion and to what I really, really love, which was music. And it's helped me a great deal to ground myself and to like find new like and about my life generally. So I think that is an amazing question and such an important thing to find that. So let's see if the cards have a theme for you, Erin. And find theme. Oh wow, I have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, a very beautiful card. So cards, cups are emotions.
This is the same card you and Erin got about your pop-up.
Yes, definitely. It has a lot of inspiration, creativity, and starting something new, right? As far as I remember. It's this like beautiful woman in a flower dress holding.
It's a very positive card. It tells you basically, we're going to see exactly what it says, but it's kind of like what I feel, Erin, is like you have something on your mind that you want to do, whether it's like painting or something like that, and it's giving you like goodwill to go forward with that.
So, a new creative idea or opportunity has come to you out of the blue. You're filled with dreamy aspirations about what is possible. You may receive an unexpected and pleasant surprise. So maybe watch out for, it seems like you already have a new creative outlet, a new idea, or a new opportunity that sort of like came out of the blue. Maybe you stumbled upon something that's like all of a sudden like excited you or like made you feel.
Tell us what that is too. Tell us, if you don't mind, Erin, tell us like what this is resonating for you, in what way.
like fills you with dreamy aspirations about what is possible, and maybe like also like to keep your eyes open because you might receive another unexpected and pleasant surprise. Maybe it's like that if you start pursuing this passion or like this kind of creative outlet that you found, that maybe this is like gonna open up a world of possibilities and surprises to you that like are going to excite and engage you in a new way. What's my mom saying? Наша очередь когда? Oh, my mom is asking when their turn is.
Who,
When
her
is
turn? Tell
my
her
mom?
to, yeah, tell her send a question.
Ну, пошли нам вопрос. Ты нам послала вопрос? I asked my mom.
How are you guys doing, by the way, in English? Like, what's your status right now, you and your mom?
Hang on, we'll tell you. So my mom didn't
Okay.
ask. My mom didn't ask any questions yet. So
Okay.
we've been doing. Oh wait, dedication. Okay, dedicating more time to yoga, also learning new art techniques that I was looking up online. They look too difficult, but the cards say to go forward. Yes.
Yeah, get your supplies. Get that art supplies.
Those art supplies. I think you should never ignore like that inner calling. Actually, funny thing you say that because I've had the same thing where like I really wanted to paint and really wanted to draw, and my friend was like, you know what? I'm throwing away all of my colors. Let me give them to you. So she gave them to me.
Can I tell you some really good news? Last night, Steve and I were walking the dog around the neighborhood, and this woman we talk to often told us that she has an ice cream maker that she's never opened and that she wants to give it to us, but only if we're willing to experiment with non-dairy milks. And I'm like, yeah.
I understand that their question got answered. Мам, я уже ответила. Чтобы Анжела оставила свою дочь в покое и оставила, не давила на нее, потому что чем больше она будет на нее давить, тем импульсивнее она будет действовать, и тем неправильнее будет ее выбор. Поэтому она должна отпустить, чтобы ее дочь смогла без проблем найти кого-то. All right, I just translated.
Perfect. Okay, Stevie. Stevie says, first of all, hey, Stevie, thanks for coming, and I'm nice to meet you. So thank you for your input with the friends and the female stuff. That was awesome. She says, starting a new venture. Should I go solo or work with a team?
Starting a new venture, solo or work with a team. Depending also really depends on what type of person you are, right? Because there are people who are really like thriving on their own, and then there are people who are thriving in a team. And they're the around. Like, do you know anyone maybe who might be a good partner for you?
It makes me think too, she's like maybe had some experience with either one or the other. I mean, it's hard to go through life not having experience on a team and also solo. So like, I wonder where she feels emotionally more secure, on a team or solo, because it's not necessarily that people feel more secure on a team.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Absolutely.
I love your mom so much. I think it's so funny that she didn't feel the question was answered, and I wonder if it's because it was directed towards the mom instead of like what the daughter needs to do.
Love.
She was like, obviously my friend is perfect.
And
I can't wait till we are like in the age group of your mom. Like, God bless that we will be alive and like pestering our daughters. It will be amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
It's beautiful. Nine of Pentacles. That's a great card for the business.
Yeah, it's basically like you will have plenty of money and resources.
Yes, look at this. It's like all fertility. It's money. There's
abundance.
Yeah, abundance.
Okay, let's see her. And it does so happen to be that she's on her own. It doesn't mean that outside the frame there aren't team members and people supporting her, but it does look like she's on her own in that card.
Right, there we go. You have created abundance. Now enjoy the fruits of your labor. Don't be afraid to splurge on something special for yourself. You use wealth to create financial independence in the long term. Use your wealth to create financial independence in the long term. I love that. I mean, it does sound a lot like you yourself, and it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't really give an answer whether you should do it on your own or whether you should have a team, but it does sound a lot like you will know whether you should, have teammates or not to like create because whatever it is that you're going to do, you're going to succeed and you're going to do really, really well. And I think maybe like part of it is like you listening to yourself and how you really, really feel about like whether you even need a partner. And if you do, then get one, because no matter what it is that you decide is going to lead to success and abundance.
I agree. I also think it's one of the most like reassuring cards. Like it's rare that anybody feels like they have so much wealth, right? And so they like when you get a card like that, it's such a nice reminder because it's like all of us have this angle from which we know that our life is abundant. Like otherwise we wouldn't be alive. Like everybody who's alive right now is like a huge survivor, is like surrounded by super abundance. Otherwise like we would be not alive. So I think like just spending the day marinating in some of the abundance that's there that you've attracted, it's just such a nice card to get. It's kind of like being like, you are safe, you've done well, you know, you've taken care, good job. So that's very positive and nice to see.
Thank you so much. So helpful. Really, really glad to hear that. What
Yeah.
else do we do next?
Okay. So I want to make sure I'm going in order.
That's my
So let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Silvio, whose account happens to be called Silvio's with official music.
huh.
So very clearly dedicated to music. He goes, if will I ever succeed in music or should I change and do other things?
Yeah, Silvio, I love that question. Also, like me, being very, very passionate about music, I always hope that people can succeed they are passionate about. And I know that we are connected on Instagram, and the conversations that we've had were like around music topics. So you do seem like someone who really loves and is very passionate about it. So let's see what the cards say about it.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in like following your passions, and I'm hella scared of that myself. So it is, but it
Yeah.
is. This is the time for many of us to actually follow our passions and follow almost like our calling. But yeah, let's see what
I'm
cards will.
starting to breathe. I'm just inviting anybody to breathe a little bit more deeply right now because I was starting to feel almost a little nauseous because I'm drinking coffee without having eaten. So if anybody wants to breathe deeply with me, I'm gonna.
And meanwhile, while you guys are breathing, we have pulled the Four of Pentacles, which is also an interesting card. You can see the woman sitting there holding a pentacle like tightly, like almost kind of like cradling it like a baby
Protective of it, right?
of it. That's maybe it's like your baby's music, your baby. You're like very protective of it. Like having like two pentacles here on the ground, one above four.
Interesting. So that card it seemed very like heady. Um,
Head,
seems
heart,
like there's like energy systems, like you're working with like energy systems, maybe like in a band or
head. One is here, and one is at your feet, and it like looks like you're embracing it. Like to me, it seems like it's very precious to you, something very precious. Um, but let's see, seven, three, and pentacles, and we have the
it's such
four.
an honest question, a vulnerable question to ask. You know, it's like we can all relate to that sense of fear of like, should I keep going or should I not?
So you are very financially conscious, actively saving money and watching your expenses. Be careful though, money works best when it is in a state of flow and exchange, not
Oh,
stashed away.
I love that. That's such great advice. Like, put, can you pay a friend to repair your guitar? Can you um, bring in a new software you need and spread your resources a little bit and connect you to new things? I love that. Like, put your resources back in flow.
Also sounds a bit like I mean, music is obviously like very risky, right? And it's hard to make money with it. And so if you're focusing a lot on music as your passion, then obviously, you probably are very careful about spending too much and, maybe like not like splurging too much if you want to pursue your like music as your passion career. However, what it says here is to not be that afraid, like, because if you can spend and then it will come back to you. So it's kind of like a circle. So maybe like to me, it almost sounds like you can be successful with music, but you need to like let go of the fear that's holding you back, and that's like a financial fear. That
From I'm thinking about a time in my life. I mean, I was like so frugal, you know, like through my 20s, I was like pretty frugal, believe it or not. And then I got one thing that helped to free up my flow with money is I just got a job that paid like pretty high. And then I was spending a little bit more. And now that I'm out of that job, I just have a more liberated sense of money. Um, so I wonder if there's like other things. What about you, Julana? What have you done that kind of put your money back in flow, made you feel a sense of ease and liberation around that topic?
honestly, I mean, I totally feel sort of like because right now I don't stable job and I don't have like a stable income, and I obviously am worried about not ever, having that. But I also don't really want to limit myself too much. Obviously, I have like pulled back a little bit on like splurging too much, but however, if there's something that I really really want, I don't really, I still go and like get it for myself, because I do think like you need to channel what you actually really want. Like if you're too frugal, you're just gonna like block yourself as well. Like you will create blockers.
Right, right.
Sylvia, has that helped you in any way? I'm not sure if he's still here.
He can tell us.
Yeah, if you are, let us know.
Okay.
Do we
Um,
have?
we have Heather, I believe, Heartlines.
Yes, it's my friend Heather. I just saw her. She's
Uh,
awesome.
she says so you can give us a little, so give us, talk to us about Heather and where she is, and then I'll read her question.
Heather lives in my old apartment. I met her around the block when we were both doing our nails. She's Canadian. She is like the super, super beautiful. She is one of my best friends in Berlin. She legitimately is like my wifey. So we see each other almost every day. She just met my friend Anna. So we had coffee together, all together. And yeah, Heather is actually a classical, she's an opera singer, but she doesn't do that anymore. So,
Uh,
and just everyone else I know at this stage is we're all sort of like looking into new ways, like new careers, like
yeah,
following our hearts, and it's hard, and there's a lot of anxiety around it. And we're single ladies, so like looking for love, dating, trying to find a partner who's right for us. So all these topics also.
nice. So she asked, the question she asked today is, have I been manifesting the right things regarding work and love? And will they come to fruition? She's putting it all out there. Work and love, Tarot. You got to tell us the whole picture today for Heather.
Has
So
testing the right things.
both of them probably have the same source, right? Like whatever's happening in your life regarding love or work, sometimes they come from the same energy. And if that energy is like nervous or confident or whatever it is. So I see this as she's getting a reading on the energetic core to both of those issues.
Yeah. And her manifestation. Is she ready to manifest past the right things for herself? And if so, has she been manifesting the right things? And ooh, Heather, you will really love to see that card. You will love to see that card. It's beautiful. And I pulled it's one of the most beautiful cards on the deck. It's the lovers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Work and love, love and work, she says, both are definitely aligned right now. Energy wise, well spotted. Okay. So this is interesting. Okay. So they are in a blissful setting, right? It's like,
Here,
what's
how about
happening in the sky? It's like there's a protector over some cloud, or what's that scene?
it's like an angel in the sky. But you also have the original sin here, right? Like you have the apple and you have the snake on the tree and you have like the choice, the choices that were there's almost like so you have yeah, so first of all you have the angel, you have the original sin, you have the snake, you have the apple, you have Adam and Eve. Um and it is, I mean, and it's almost like they're all looking at the angel and like asking advice. It's almost like it is a card for lovers. It is a card about love, but it's also a card of choice.
I also think it's interesting that on that horizon, there's a single mountain. It's like, do these lovers have some goal? Are they heading somewhere?
I I would also recommend to you, Heather, to go to Biddy and read like a longer explanation of the lovers. It is like generally like a very beautiful card, right? And like obviously has to do with like love and
Passion, love for life, love for another. Yeah.
the have a beautiful soul honoring connection with another. You successfully integrate dual forces into a unified state. You face a choice of the highest moral grounds. So there's a lot in this card. So it does seem like you are manifesting the right things. However, do go and like explore the themes of this card even further and then like see how you can apply it to your work and to your love. Like I know that Heather, Heather is seeing um, someone new, or there are several kind of like new people around her that might be potential love interests. She's also very much trying to understand what her career is going to look like and where she's gonna go. So I think that card is really gonna help you explore all of these topics. So go a little deeper into that.
I like that. Moral grounds. Woo! That's
Yeah.
heavy stuff. In my experience, that I know, none of my romances worked before I got onto my high moral ground.
Yeah, I think here, obviously. So, but I do think Heather changed a lot around, there was a lot of growth from her side. We'll read, yes, Biddy, and go deeper. Yes, please do that, and then let's discuss once we see each other. Okay, who's next? Do we have another question?
I think we might be like all up on all. You guys send questions if you have them, but oh wait, no, we have a question. Hold on, it's in the box. Okay, Cloud Surfer. I want to ask about love. What are the energies saying?
Again?
Cloud Surfer is asking, I want to ask about love. What are the cards saying? So she wants a general reading on love.
Great that you.
Love. What does it feel like to want to know about love? Is that what it is to be human?
I think so. Is it always?
Yay.
I think a lot about love because as long as we're alive, we will be thinking about love. Sometimes we will be ready, sometimes we will not be ready. Sometimes we will be scared of it, and sometimes we will passionately pursue someone. It is all about love as long as we're alive.
Love. Okay, so Cloud Surfer. Do you know Cloud Surfer?
Yes, I do. She was already here in one of our last readings.
So tell us about her.
It's this woman who has this like beautiful platform that connects other women, and that's how I met her really.
Nice.
She was one of those people who's very connected to herself, and that was also something that stood out about her to me, when I met her for the very first time, the way she carries herself, the way she's speaking, and the way she's presenting herself, where you could feel like she is very aligned, internally and externally, which made her seem so like professional to me and also like help me, or I felt like I could take her seriously because, sometimes you meet people and you feel like maybe they're not quite there yet, or, maybe they, still need to sort of like work on their emotional development, but she's just very much there. And I remember one of the first things that I said to her when we had a conversation is that I actually really enjoyed this meeting and like getting to know the ladies that she's brought together, because it does feel very authentic. It felt very authentic to me, and just kind of like very much
I want
aligned.
to come to one. I hope that your pop-up in October is happening and then that Cloud Surfer does one of these meetups in October and I can come to Berlin.
We have the magician.
Ooh.
Hi, Kinga.
Maybe a woman who's creating her own love. Let's see.
All right. So the magician is a beautiful card, right? Isn't it? And it's actually okay. So what's really interesting is this is the second card of the arcana. So the first one is the fool, I believe, right? This is where the journey starts. The magician is already when you're starting to manifest something.
Yes. What number is it?
One. It's number one. So
Okay,
it's
right.
Full is 0, and then number 1 is 1. So you're sort of like, and there's an infinity side, exactly. It's basically the beginning of a manifestation.
You have all the tools, like all the tools on the table. That's another thing that's happening in that card.
You have the cup, you have the sword, you have the wands, and then you have the pentacles.
You can proceed, you can like proceed with your love life using any of those tools. Like what is going to lead?
So taking action to manifest your goals and have the resources to create what you desire. You combine magic and practicality to bring your ideas to reality. So it is like the manifestation card. Like, when you like start with the fool is starting his journey in like a playful way, like everything is possible. Like at this stage, you're already manifesting and you have everything that you need within you. So you are like in a very good position to get whatever you want.
I think when I start to think about those tools, like my mind is like, show us the card again. I look at those tools and I think, oh, which one is she going to choose? And what my inner wisdom is telling me is you can't choose any of them. You have to use all of them.
You can't, I mean, yes, probably, because if you're actually bringing something into fruition, then that's when you're using all of them. You're using your mind, you're using your emotions, you're using your like
Sexuality, money,
money, all
creativity.
decisions, she said.
Yeah, it's all you are in the right place in your process. So it's like you're getting this card because you're early in this process. So it's like don't try to rush it. Your next stage will come. Enjoy this moment of being with all the choices.
All right, I see one question from Boris. Is this the one that's up next, or do we have another one
Yeah,
before?
Boris is up next. Hi,
Okay.
Boris.
Hi, good to see you. So Boris actually was one of my first interns at Uber, and
Nice.
loved him. Like I remember when he got introduced to me because I was like very much looking for someone who could do all the things in marketing. He introduced to me, and I found his I read through his CV, and he was so young, but he's done so much already, and um and I remember like our first conversation, it was like I tried to convince him to come on board because I was like, we need you so much. And he's like one of those people who's incredibly smart and incredibly talented, and just like there's so much ambition in him. And he also speaks Russian, which was such a fun coincidence. And just overall an insanely talented guy. And
Awesome.
I miss him, and I hope to see him thrive and get whatever it is that he wants and succeed with any of his projects.
Love
So
it.
his question is all about, I have one, okay, like obstacles. Okay, what are the obstacles to overcome to achieve my
So
project?
is he at Uber now or is he doing his own?
No, he
Okay.
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has a question. Good. What are the obstacles to overcome to achieve my project? That's such an interesting, insightful question. Like you're not asking, it's kind of like that Rumi quote that you like, like it's the job is not to pursue love, but to remove all the obstacles that are in the way of it. So this is sort of like what you're asking about your work life. Like what's going to get in your way? What can we give you a heads up about that will help you out? So what could get in Boris's way that he needs to be aware of? And the cards might completely circumscribe that and instead go with something else. So let's see.
So we have the card of action, and it was the Seven of Wands, and I could see, you could see the woman here fighting, and you can see like all these kind of like wands coming at her. It's almost like you've gotten to like a really good point. Like it looks like you've gotten to
You're on the top of the mountain, kind of.
position, and there are people who want to fight you for it. Like they want your spot. So, let's read into the meaning of this card, but it looks a lot like you are fighting. You're already in a very good position, but there are people who want your position. So
Yeah.
it almost obstacles could be people who want to be where you are. So, someone to watch out for. Maybe like one person, maybe several people. So let's see.
I think that's right. And then somebody who's on top of the mountain, who's on higher ground, who worked their way up there, you have certain advantages. So like those will be what will help you out.
All right. So You are in an enviable position. You have worked hard to get to where you are, but other people want what you have and are prepared to fight you for it. Protect your territory and stand up for what you believe in. So yeah, I think what's interesting is kind of like that it says protect your territory and stand up for what you believe in. It looks like it's something that you're very passionate about and something that you really believe in. So that's something that you need to stand up for. So maybe like, speak up and don't let people who want your position take it. So like, just kind of be almost like a little strategical and be smarter, like be a couple of steps ahead already, I would say. It is like an amazing card as it tells you that you are in a really good place already, but to watch out for people who might want to take it from you. And to not stress out, I think like the solution there is really like if you continue standing up for what you believe in, you can overcome those obstacles. How do you,
Like, yes. He says yes.
yes, okay.
So
This
he
is great.
kind of gets that vibe.
Proud of you. I want to know what this project is. So maybe you want to text me later and let me know.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, it's kind of, intimidating, but it's like, it sounds like it's not intimidating to him. He says, this is great. It's like he understands people are enviable of where he is. They're going to be fighting with him a bit about it. I'm glad that that doesn't sound too bad. That's
I also I believe in him so much. He is so talented. He's so smart and he's got all the tools.
Yay, Boris.
All
Love
right,
it.
so
I'm zooming up to your picture, but I can't really see you. But nice to meet you, and thanks for coming. All right, so shall we do? I think we have an opportunity right now as the questions have paused. Guys, send in questions, first name, quick question or theme, and we will read for you. I think this is a good time to take a few breaths, do a little group reset.
yeah. So if we don't have any further questions at this point, I can talk a little bit about my personal. I actually, I've had an interesting experience these
Tell
couple.
us. Yeah.
I was dating a guy, and it was sort of like getting more and more serious between us, and I, however, really wanted to take it slowly with him because I wasn't really sure about him at all. Um, Due to my past experience, but also I just kind of wanted to mini guided meditation. Yes.
We'll do a little bit after Juliana tells her story. Okay.
We had so we were sort of like progressing. I felt slowly but surely, and then we had like a huge setback where I think his kind of like old self and his personality very much shone through. I was at his house yesterday and he made dinner and it could have been really, really nice. However, he like started very much pressuring me and it didn't feel well and it felt, like his ego was hurt and his ego was making me
Yeah.
feel comfortable. So just kind of like prove to me and maybe like as a general theme as that like we all are so connected to our intuition and sometimes we decide not to listen to it. Well, this time around I really really decided to listen to my intuition and to listen to myself, so I took many steps back and wanted to take it very very slowly for good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just feel like I was right to protect myself and I was right to take it slowly because now after so much time I've like actually seen his own demons basically, and those are the demons that I probably would be dealing with that I'm not prepared to deal with at all. So that was good for me and
Yeah.
sort of a reminder to always listen to yourself and go within and like don't let anyone rush you into anything. Trust your gut. Exactly.
So Kasha just joined. Okay, so I want to hear so much more about that story. So like, but my question right now, my most important question, Kasha, ask a question too if you have one. My big question for you right now is like, how did you handle it and how did you leave the situation and what's the status now?
Yes, your inner vibe got you. Yes. I was I was friendly and I listened to him and I listened to his kind of like, he was quite pushy and he was making me feel, he was degrading me basically like sexual, like he was using sex and, because I mean, to be quite frank, I haven't slept with him.
Yeah.
So like pressuring me a little bit into like and putting like a lot of expectations around the topic, making me feel uncomfortable and like insecure and like okay. So I just sort of like listened to him and I wasn't mean to him at all. I just kind of like picked up my stuff and left after we finished watching the movie, but like in a very nice way, and I thanked him for the dinner and I just kind of like left it at that. So my
Okay.
like my whole point is, for a second I thought maybe I should call him out on these things because I don't actually believe that he wanted to seem, or I don't actually think that he did that on purpose. But I decided that I'm going to give him the chance to maybe talk to me about this whenever he's ready, and if he will not, then I will just leave it be. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it really leads me to that topic of like degradation, which is a really interesting one. And like, man, okay, it's a very heavy one. And I'm like tempted to share a terrible story. But okay, Kasha asked a question. She was finally set a date to potentially move out of the country. Wondering if, I know this is so exciting. She and her husband agreed on a date to move to France.
I'm so
Okay, and they're both like, all right, this is when it would happen. I think it's January 1st. I can't remember exactly. She was wondering if the cards have something to say about that. Okay. And then she's also enjoying your topic. So, yeah. And Aaron, just to close this off for now, we'll go back into it. Aaron says, I love your boundaries. He's clearly projecting his insecurities into you. I'm glad you're safe. And it sounds like he has a lot to work on. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, and that was exactly my thinking. Like, I don't want to judge him. I think he has a lot to work on, and but I have my boundaries and I set them, and I'm out of there. And if he wants to talk to me, if he wants to ever, address these things with me, that's cool, and I will always listen to him. But I don't have to deal with this at all.
Oh, yeah. I just want to share, just in camaraderie with you, I want to share one of the most degrading, awful things that ever happened in my life, which is like a friend, like an Italian friend of mine connected me to his friend in Rome because I had like one of these like layovers where it was like 24 hours until my next flight. And like my flight landed at like 9 p.m. or something. So I was looking for a place to sleep. And I was in my 20s, which Kaylee, if you're listening or younger people are listening, guys, that's not the kind of thing to save money on. Like get yourself a freaking hotel room for that night. And if you can't, whatever, I understand the court, like it sucks actually because it's expensive and like you actually don't have a lot of money and you're traveling and you're very young and you're alone. So I thought it would be okay to ask for a friend of a friend. I asked friends, hey, do you have any friends I could sleep with? This guy picked me up. From the second I met him, I knew that I didn't feel comfortable. As soon as we were on the highway driving through like the highway around the Rome airport and he was like driving us to our house, I was trying to strategize. I was like, hey, what if we like go and like do like a little like touring around town? Can you like bring me to like a restaurant you like? Like I knew I didn't want to go to this guy's house. He was like, no, I'll make us a meal. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that could work. Like Italian guy trying to like make you a meal and maybe everything will be fine. And like all the hospitality will come through. I got there and he showed me into the bedroom and he had put on American flag bed sheets. It was like my heart was pounding. Like the rest of the night was pure strategy. I was trying to keep myself alive. There were moments on that highway where I almost opened the door and I thought, what would be my plan if I opened this door and I was out in these like reeds on this dark highway with like no phone I could use in Rome? It was so scary. So like I hate that that happened to you, that you felt sexually pressured in like a small claustrophobic environment. It's so uncomfortable. And really, it's so lucky that you didn't get violently assaulted. And like that kind of strategy you had to use to keep yourself safe, even though it doesn't sound like it was that extreme, it's something you never should have had to do. So like, I just want to tell you that that sucks. I'm sorry that happened.
I think just to kind of like, it was a bit of a different thing with him
Right.
because
You had a relationship, you like knew this person, like you had kissed.
having sex with him, but what he did is he made me feel bad about not having sex with him. He
Yeah.
basically stuff like, I hope, because we watched the Fire Festival documentary, and he said to me that he's hoping that the very first time that we sleep with each other, it's not going to be like the Fire Festival. And, or like telling me that, like, the way I'm kissing is the way he would be kissing his grandmother. So basically just very like offensive things that are yeah, they're like insulting, and I don't need to hear that. Just because I'm not giving myself away to you like this, like it doesn't mean that you need to offend
Well,
me.
it sounds like he's like negging you into being more sexual. Like he's like making fun of what you're willing to do so that like you feel pressured to do something else that's like more suitable to him.
It's
So
to feel
that's yeah.
well trustworthy. But okay, on to, do you have his address so I can go and go? Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much.
So let's get to Kasha's questions. I'm so happy to have so many ladies on the line, and hopefully we have a few guys too. That's always great. Um, Finally set a date. Okay, so she set this date. Yeah, entitlement culture. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Kasha, this is like really big news for Kasha because she like dreams of this kind of thing. She's like wanted to move. She actually got into this amazing residency that was in France, like right before quarantine. And then it because of quarantine it couldn't happen, but it was like where she would write her next film. So basically now she's been dreaming of moving to France, and like she finally got her partner to like agree to this, and that's big. And now she's wondering like what else do I need to know on that topic?
Oh, I just pulled an interesting card, and it is the death card reversed,
Okay.
which is very, very interesting because, like, we all know that the death card always stands for, like letting go of an aspect that's no longer serving the past. In like the reverse position, often it also means that you're like a little scared to let go, right?
I think
That
it's letting go. It may be letting go of LA. I mean, it could be saying like let go of the France idea, but I think more likely it's like I've seen their house. They have a lot of stuff. They have a beautiful home. Um, they've got all their jobs there. So it's like hard, death when you see it next to another card. I'm almost curious, should we pull a second card for her just to get more insight?
let me So, like with the death card, like first of all, I think it's all about like kind of like not being like you want to let go of something, but you're not quite ready yet, or you're sort of like scared. It's like always, but because it is scary to start something new, always, always, always. But what it's kind of like, it's encouraging you to do so because there's so much out there for you. But also, like with the death card, that we can, like, we're going to read up on it in the reverse position, but then we will pull another card that will sort of like help us understand the theme around it a little better. So the death card is, so you're experiencing deep inner change, letting go of an aspect of yourself that is no longer serving you and making way for something greater. Do not resist change. It's basically just kind of like encouraging you to embrace your change, but it is scary. It's always scary to start something new, and especially like a big move like this is absolutely scary. But it is like encouragement. But what we could also do is like pull another card to kind of like see what else is there.
Yeah,
Like,
let's do that.
oh, and we had it before, and it is the Seven of Wands.
Interesting.
It is the Seven of Wands. It is what we had with you and your friend.
It almost looks like all the job. I mean, she's had so many jobs. It's like it's really hard to be like a filmmaker in LA. You have like so many jobs going on all the time. I wonder if it's letting go of that like labor life of like there's so much demand. I mean,
So Seven of Swords is, remember when we read it out to you, like it has a lot to do with like focusing on yourself and like on what you want. So you cannot do everything at once, and you must prioritize what's important to you, even if it means letting others down. You may need to put yourself first to get what you want. So like even if it means that you will be maybe like letting people down in LA, or like, what you just said, like commitments, expectations and whatnot, like you got to prioritize yourself and your dream, even if it means that, other people might get disappointed in the process.
I think that's right. This came up as a theme last week, and in an interview I did this week. where it's like when you're making a huge change, because this is what I'm remembering. Kasha said last week, like, what's happening with friendships during quarantine? I feel like I'm losing some of them. Like, maybe that's the kind of stuff. It's like friendships that aren't working. Maybe you can really put them on pause right now to focus on preparing for France. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
let some of that stuff go. Let some of like the LA stuff that is not serving you, let it go and start to prioritize like the new vision.
yeah, I love that. Focus on that. And it's totally okay to be scared and to have doubts because that is what a big change like this always like has in store. It's the other side of a change.
I love how much excitement can become the driver when you're making a big change. It's helped me to make all my big adventures and changes is like the excitement gets so great that the fears just get put in the gutter. I like what you're saying. Like it's natural when you feel fear, it's good and let yourself feel it, but also let that excitement start to play driver a little bit. It will help motivate you to like get the stuff sold, get the house cleared, get the place Airbnb'd, whatever you're going to do with it. So I'm really excited about all that for her.
Me too. Do we have another question?
No, I think we should do a group card for the week ahead, the vibes we're moving into.
Wait, my friend says she's waiting in front of the door, which I don't understand. Why would she do that? Oh my gosh, it's because I locked the door. Warum hast du nicht geklingelt? Oh
Nice,
my
Tasha.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys.
Who's your guest?
She's like, I was wondering where she is, and like she was waiting in front of the door because I always like automatically shut the door, but I was hoping
Yeah.
she would ring the doorbell.
Well, that's really great patience. Maybe she didn't want to interrupt. It's so nice.
Look at her, this is Anna.
Hi. I didn't want to interrupt, but I watched from outside.
This is the
sweet.
dog.
How long were you waiting out there?
Oh my gosh, she was waiting forever. I'm
An
so
hour.
sorry.
An hour?
She
That
was
is
waiting
real
for an hour.
patience.
She is incredibly patient and beautiful and so helpful in so many ways.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Group greeting and close with meditation. Wait, she didn't say that her friend was in the hall at the beginning. OMG. Okay. We're all happy you're here. And okay, so let's do a card that sets our intention moving forward. I gotta say, like my heart feels all jumbled right now. I'm like, one part of me feels like I have just like a lot going on. Like I feel I'm ready for a little bit of like. So let's take a deep breath. Let's all like zone in on the energy here.
I'm pulling
All
a
right.
card for us for the next week.
Yeah.
Or what would you like me to do?
Yeah, for like to navigate just as we get off this call and move into our future, what's the guidance?
The Two of Pentacles and the guy who's juggling two things and two priorities. It's the balance card. It's finding that balance.
Two of Pentacles. All right, let's read it.
Two of Pentacles. So, you're juggling multiple priorities and need to manage your time carefully to find your balance. You don't have to be busy to get things done. Sometimes taking a break is the most productive thing you can do. Beautiful card, I think. It is something that we all need to do a little more consciously, and it's taking breaks. It's giving ourselves a break. It's probably, I don't want to speak for everyone, but most of us are so very hard on ourselves. We want to just get everything done. We are like juggling so many different things, and it is exhausting. And instead of, giving ourselves breaks and actually acknowledging that we're juggling so many things and it's okay to breathe in and breathe out, what you were just saying, like meditate, we just keep going because it's never enough, right? We always want, to achieve more and like do more. But maybe like
that guidance.
as we go into the next week to keep in mind that we are already doing the best we can, and then whenever things get overwhelming, that it's okay to take a break and it's good to take a break.
All right, so we have less than a minute left. We're just going to do a quick little like bond and breathe. Okay, so take your fingers to your scalp and just give a massage to your scalp. I love that. And take a deep breath while you're doing that.
That my twisty gets moved.
And then rub your jaw and roll your wrists out. And give a big stretch to the ceiling. Go side to side. Okay, now look up, power pose, arms wide. All right, thanks you guys. We love
Thank you, guys.
you. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.